All right, class, welcome to our second week of learning. This is language, day 6. Let's begin. After you have submitted your quiz, you were supposed to finish the quiz, send it in to me, and now we can go ahead and do our review and our lesson. So, as we begin, we're going to review adverbs. Using these sentences, we're going to review marking sentences and asking ourselves questions to look for adverbs. So, first sentence, the deer nimbly jumped the fence. The word nimbly here, if you've never heard of it, means quickly or easily, without any trouble. So the deer here was very smart and quick about doing it. Dad will build a taller fence today. The deer always tries to eat Mom's plants. So, the deer nimbly jumped the fence. Let's see if you can find the noun and the verb in this sentence. Ksenia, could you come here and underline nouns and verbs in this sentence? Deer is a
noun.
It's a noun, good. Good. Notice how she separated her subject from the predicate right after the noun. That's the subject of the sentence. Nimbly, good. So what is an adverb? Who remembers? Remind me again, what is an adverb?
Usually describes a verb.
Good, it's a word that usually describes a verb. So what's our verb here?
The jumped.
Oh, it's jumped. Why do you have nimbly underlined twice? Did you guys catch that? I hope you did. I wasn't looking at the board, but if you saw Ksenia do that and you noticed it, good job. You can be proud of yourself. Nimbly is not your verb, but nimbly would be a word that describes how the deer jumped. What do you call words that describe how the verb was done? They're not adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns. What words describe verbs?
Adverbs.
They do. It's adverbs. So nimbly is your adverb. Go ahead and circle it and draw an arrow from nimbly to the verb it describes. What question does nimbly answer?
How he jumped?
How? Very good. Let's review the 3 questions we've learned so far. Jumped how, jumped when, or jumped how often? Which one of these questions does nimbly describe or answer?
How.
How. Jumped how, jumped nimbly. Next one. Dad will build a taller fence today. Underline nouns. Remember how I told you, when you find the subject, mark the vertical line right after the subject. That will help you find adjectives and verbs easier. Dad will, is there a verb in this sentence?
Future tense.
Good. What is our full verb phrase? Will build. Did you guys catch that? Will build. Dad will build
A taller.
Wait, hold on. What are you doing?
Yeah, what am I doing?
You're looking for adjectives. Right now, we are looking for adverbs. What is our verb in the sentence? Dad will build a taller fence today. It is will build. Is there a word that answers how he will build, when he will build, or how often he will build?
When.
There is a word that answers when he will build. It says today. Good, I'm glad you put your arrow there already. Next sentence, the deer always tries to eat Mom's plants. Find your subject, put a vertical line right after the subject that you find. Good. Can you always?
No.
Now, the This is a little bit confusing, looks like. Tries to eat. Is it the deer eat or the deer tries? Which one is it? It is tries. You always ask yourself, once you've underlined the subject and the verb, you put those words together and you see if those make sense. Remember how I told you? The deer tries to eat mom's plants. Now, is there an adverb that answers how he tries, when he tries, or how often he tries?
Always.
Yeah. Always is your adjective or adverb. He always tries. Okay, so step aside over there. Thank you. Just stand there for a second. I'll call you again. Today we're going to learn to diagram adverbs. Carlos whistled happily. There's 3 words here. You have your noun, your verb, and you have a word that describes the verb. Ksenia,
Yes.
is there an adverb in this sentence? A word that answers how, when, or how often something is done. Very good. All right, give me the marker. Step over there, please, and watch me diagram it. This is really exciting because you already know how to do this. You have learned how to diagram adjectives, and adverbs get diagrammed almost the same way. You do slides, and you do the slide right underneath the word that the adverb describes. So if Carlos is our subject, whistled is our verb, then happily describes how he whistled. And you would just write happily right here. Carlos whistled. He whistled how? He whistled happily. All right, next one. Yesterday, Maya read her book. What is our subject? Ksenia? What is our subject? Answer before you write anything.
Maya.
Maya is your subject. Good. What did Maya do?
Read.
She read. All right. Is there a word that describes how she read, when she read, or how often she read?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. This is answers what question?
Describes read.
Answers
When she
what?
read.
Answers what question?
When?
When she read. All right. This is what we're gonna diagram it as. You're gonna put the subject here as it is. Don't let the word, the adverb here, confuse you because it's over here. That does not mean that it gets diagrammed over here. Okay, be careful with that. Maya read, right? Maya read. How did Maya read? When did Maya read? Or how often Maya read would go right underneath the verb read. Look up here. Yesterday. Okay? That's where your adverb would go. Okay, so adjectives that describe nouns go right under the noun. Adverbs that describe verbs go right under the verb. So that's really easy. You guys know how to do it. Go ahead and open up page 159.
Look at the purple box. Always look at the purple box when you're opening a new page. Okay? Read it for yourself. There's going to be new directions there. There's going to be old information to review. Those purple boxes are very important. Don't ever skip over those, okay? Diagramming, subject, verb, and adverbs. You have the subject on the left side of the diagram. You have the vertical line and the verb on the right side of that vertical line. Subject, verb at the top, and then your adverb goes on a little slide right underneath the verb. First, you always mark the sentence. You underline, double underline, circle everything, draw your arrows, and then you go on to diagramming it. Circle the adverb that describes the verb, and then draw a small arrow from the adverb to the verb it describes and diagram it. So, we're going to do number 1. Mark the sentences, diagram the subject, verb, and adverb. So mark it first.
Molly poured hot syrup on her pancakes slowly. Who is our subject? Tanya?
Molly.
Molly is. What is Molly doing?
Pouring.
Good. I've always taught you to find the verb first. I want you to find what's happening in the sentence first. That'll make it easier to identify the subject, because there might be other nouns in the sentence, and I don't want you to say that it's the pancakes that are being poured, or the pancakes are pouring the syrup. That's not it. Molly's pouring the syrup, okay? So Molly poured is your subject verb. And then, is there an adverb that describes the verb? Ksenia?
Yes.
Which one is that?
Slowly.
Yeah, she's pouring slowly. So go ahead and diagram that. I'm going to do it here on the board for you. Molly poured. And how she poured? She poured slowly. Okay? Look at our ly ending. Do you remember what kind of words usually have an ly ending? Adverbs do. If there's a word that ends with ly, look at it, it's probably an adverb. Next one, often Joseph helps Pastor Allen. What is the verb in this sentence? Ksenia?
Helps.
Helps. Now, who is doing the helping? Is it Pastor Allen that's helping, or is it Joseph that's helping?
Joseph.
Joseph, so that's your subject, underline it. And then, how is Joseph helping? When is he helping? Or how often he's helping?
Often.
Often is your adverb. Go ahead and finish this whole page and send it in to me.